What's up, everybody? Welcome to my Kingsman 2, The Golden Circle movie review. So, as usual, if I had to sum this movie up in one word, uh, that would be very difficult. I don't think I can, but I can do it in one phrase, and that's over the top. That would be the phrase that I would use to describe this movie. So again, I think like the first, this movie is directed by Matthew Vaughn. Taron Egerton is the Eggsy, the lead guy. But I want to start off by saying that the first movie, I wasn't expecting much. I didn't know it was a comic book movie, and I don't like James Bond movies. I don't like spy movies. I liked that they actually were sort of spoofing a James Bond movie because I'm not a big fan. And the first one really blew my mind. It surprised me because I was expecting nothing. So I had a lot of high expectations going into this one, and I just want to say I liked this movie. I had a good time in the theater, but it didn't blow my mind like the first one, and I feel like it was missing that brutal like combat brutality that the first one had. Some of those fight scenes were great, and I feel like they there's not a lot of that, and in some cases they kind of waste it. There's this one where one of the statesmen is like beating the crap out of everybody, but they turn it into a joke, and they kind of just show him doing that in the background while these other two are discussing things. And there's a lot of stuff that isn't quite clear. I am gonna get into spoilers just because I feel I need to. They went way over the top with certain things and certain jokes. At one point, like Elton John is a prisoner of this drug lord, and he all of a sudden he knows all these martial arts, which is a joke. It's funny. I like that they're going for the joke, and I get it. But I don't know that we needed all that. And there's this scene where they infiltrate this enemy kind of stronghold. It seemed it wasn't as brutal as I would have liked. It again. I know I'm sounding like I'm not trying to poop on the movie. It's an enjoyable film, and I would say go see it. Um, but there was just something fresh that was lacking, and really what bothered me kind of the most was the story itself. So here's the spoilers. I mean, kind of. It's at the beginning. They kill off all the Kingsmen. They kill everyone. Everyone is dead except for Colin Firth, who has amnesia, and Eggsy, and their employee. And then Channing Tatum is barely in the movie. He's like frozen for most of the movie. He has one fight scene, and then there's this virus that's released through drugs. There's the plot of the movie. Julianne Moore puts a virus in. She's a drug dealer, worldwide drug dealer. She puts a virus in all of her drugs: cocaine, heroin, marijuana, everything. And basically, anybody who's used, almost everyone gets their drugs from her. And anybody who's used it is about to die, unless the president legalizes all drugs. Um, all these people are going to die. She won't release the antidote. So the president acts like he's going to go along with it. He said, but he won't. He's just like, let all these drug users just die, and I win the war on drugs. See, and the thing is, my problem is in this movie, I was actually rooting for the bad guys because politically, my position is, I think drugs should be legal. You shouldn't tell people what to put into their systems, and screw these people if they want to screw their life with drugs. Um, well, so I couldn't get on board because of my own personal beliefs. So I know people are against that. In my opinion, a war on drugs just creates a war zone in lower income areas. That many of these anti-drug self-righteous people, they don't live in the ghetto. But anyway, that's for my when I eventually start doing my political talks. I don't know when that'll be, but soon. Um, yeah, I wanted to see a little bit more of the statesman. Spoilers, they kill one of the statesmen at the end because he also wants the drug users to die, and I don't think he needed to die for that. They put him in a meat grinder, and I just don't think that was necessary. Um, he wasn't really a bad guy. It was just he had a different viewpoint, and the Kingsmen were like, "No, we have to save everybody that does drugs." Do you really? Uh, I mean, I guess a little weak. I'm saying they should all die, but uh, I I don't know, man. You know what? When you smoke some dope, if it because it's illegal. If it were legal, this wouldn't happen. But you don't know how many people died possibly to get that into your hands, and this is because it's illegal. I think if you legalized it, it would change things. But this was the main thread of the movie, so I couldn't help but I found it hard to root for the Kingsmen to really succeed in this case, and I think that might be more of a personal thing. And this was my problem with the movie is that I couldn't. For me, it wasn't as well defined who is right. So and it was liking that brutality, that action. Um, yeah, man. So I don't. This movie is not a 51% on Rotten Tomatoes. I think it deserves more than that. On the Starshiner scale, I'm gonna give this movie a 71. I'll give it a 71. It's a good movie. Remember 50 is average on my scale. So I would say yeah, go see a matinee. It's not like the first one. I tried to not see any trailers for this. I hate that I knew that Colin Firth came back because they put him in all the promotion. I didn't need to know that. Um, I don't know how he knew that the one cowboy guy, Agent Tequila, was gonna. He wasn't. He didn't want the antidote released because two meth heads killed his wife, so he doesn't like drug users. And that should be the good guy. You don't. You're against the druggies, right? I guess. Am I just old and am I some neocon now? I don't know. Maybe I am. I. Who knows? But the Kingsmen wanted to save the drug users. Is that really? I mean, and then the way they try to sell it in the movie is that, well, there's the president's like secretary or whatever. She was a drug user, or maybe that was the vice president. I don't know. And all these other working professionals, doctors, they smoke some dope, on their day off, and which I know there's people that are professionals that work that go use some recreational marijuana, you know. Um, but then again, see, they tried to sell the statesman as like, well, with drugs out of the way, everyone will buy booze, and then we'll make a ton of money because the statesmen are booze makers, and the Kingsmen they're clothing makers. So, but then he turns around and goes, oh no, it's because the meth heads killed my wife. So well, which one is it? Uh, so the story is what I didn't like. I did not like the story. I didn't like that they killed all those other Kingsmen. I really like that blonde girl, man. There's this really cute scene where he's like dating the Swedish princess. Somebody said that somewhere in the movie she would let somebody do her up the butt if they saved the world. I must have missed that, but she was beautiful. There's something about her look that just is very refreshing. Um, yeah, Hannah Alstrom. Plays Princess Tildy. Oh my gosh! And there's this British skinny girl who took off her clothes. I don't know. Some actress played her. Man, that girl needs a sandwich. She is way too bony. Anyway, Pedro Pascal plays Pedro. I'm sorry, Pedro Pascal plays Whiskey. He's the guy who gets thrown in the meat grinder. I don't know. And when they're fighting him, and he's got that electric whip, the Kingsmen were showing some awful lightning speed type. I don't know. That battle was kind of cool. But it was over the top though. I mean, come on. He lassos somebody, and this dude does like a spiral, like Emperor Palpatine type spin through the lasso, and before he can, crack his whip, he moves faster than a cracked whip. Colin Firth. I don't know. I wish they'd gotten more. it was missing. It was missing some bite, and I didn't like the story. But the movie itself is entertaining. The action set pieces are good. They're just a little over the top. Just it went a bit over the top, and with the Elton John doing karate, it was funny. I get it, but I it lacked it lacks. I feel like it kind of lacked heart. I feel like the first one it really had a lot of heart, and I could root for the Kingsman. I was rooting for Eggsy, especially when they killed Colin Firth. There was in this one, yeah, they kill all the Kingsmen, but it was right at the start, and I was more just angry that they did that. I'm like, no. Uh, anyway, I still give it a 71. It's an above average film. I don't like the story. The film is well made. It's well acted. Um, I'm just disappointed in the story itself, the actual story, which is I don't know. Maybe I'm letting my personal things. I know it sounds like I should give this movie a 40, but I give it a 71. I hope they make another one, um, and it's better. Okay, so let me know what you guys thought if you saw the movie. If you didn't, like and subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Goodbye.